The men that we recruit are, when they arrive, extraordinarily fit, run very fast, and when they've been fed up by us and received our training, they, at the end of it, are remarkably fit men.
On first encounter, they're very straightforward, they're very good-natured, they've got a nice sense of humour, but very quickly you discover they're also extremely hardy and stoical. And really it's that quality of stoicism, their ability to endure. They tolerate the circumstances that they find themselves in very readily and very naturally, and make perfect soldiers in this sort of respect.
Most of a Gurkha's natural strength is in his legs, from years of climbing and carrying heavy loads in the mountains. Basic training concentrates on their upper bodies, which are not as strong and must be developed through constant exercise. And by eating 3 full meals a day and dairy products for the first time in their lives. They are ordered to gain weight, and the instructors make sure it's good weight.
Primary bearing 6070.
Anytime, anywhere, any place that the Gurkhas have gotten the call to arms, they have responded without the need for heavy backup support most other British infantry regiments might require.
Victor Zulu, Juliet Golf, Oscar Charlie.
Gurkhas fire and maneuver through difficult terrain as a team confident of their mastery of fieldcraft and decided advantage over most of their adversaries in the bush.
They got a very good eyesight, but they don't have any basic knowledge of skill of how to hunt, but they do, and they can kill, and they got good shooting ability as well.
The ferocity of Gurkhas in combat is something that can't be taught. It's an instinctive trait that can only be refined in training and is rarely displayed and never bragged about.
There's a tremendous contrast between the reputation which Gurkhas have attained in war over the last 150, 60 years and their personal approach to life and the gentleness which they show each other, their British officers and all guests and strangers to the regiment. They are some of the most pleasant, easy to get to know and gentle people that I've ever met. And yet in wartime, when their temper arises and the situation needs it, they can forget all gentleness and be totally dedicated to destroying the enemy.
For their individual heroism, 12 Gurkhas received Britain's highest military honor, the Victoria Cross. British officers love to recount Gurkha stories, like the time a mortally wounded Gurkha was ordered not to die and didn't, lest he disobey an officer's order. Now, as an integral part of the British Army's Rapid Deployment Force, they are trained for a variety of combat situations in unfamiliar settings. In this state-of-the-art simulation of urban combat, they use live ammunition and explosives to test their abilities to react to the unexpected. Instructors control the action with explosions, sound effects, and change the scenarios with fake casualties and automated snipers. The Gurkhas' primary missions in recent history have been defensive. They have been largely responsible for sealing the border between Hong Kong and the People's Republic of China, which won't be one country until 1997. Day and night, they patrol the border for illegal immigrants trying to cross over to the Hong Kong side by cutting through the 19-mile fence that runs the length of the border. They have captured as many as 65 in a single day, using a variety of equipment ranging from sophisticated thermal imaging equipment to innocent-looking two-man teams on BMX bicycles, checking the fence for breaks and intruders along the 17-foot-tall fence. Armed with only sticks and their kukri knives, the Gurkhas set up nightly ambushes. They place extra detection sensors in the ground and check the more likely passage areas with night vision scopes. Their natural discipline and high morale allow them to maintain a high state of readiness night after night as they wait in the bush for somebody to test their 170-year-old tradition of following orders and securing difficult perimeters. The sound of bagpipes are as alien to Nepal as the sounds of war. Yet Gurkhas in the service of the British and the Indian armies have seen more continuous combat in the last 100 years than any other soldiers in the world. Gurkhas are not allowed to have their families with them for the first 5 years of their service. As Spartan as their life in quarters might seem to Westerners, these young Gurkhas enjoy a higher standard of living than they could ever expect in Nepal. This Gurkha's few personal possessions reflect the important things in life. A picture of his wife, who he won't see for 3 years at a time. Some precious possessions of military life. And the legacy of his father, who was a sergeant major in this same regiment. Even after their service is completed, a retired Gurkha's base pension of approximately $30 a month is critical to his family, his village, and the country of Nepal, which depends on Gurkha pensions and salaries as its third greatest source of foreign currency. The downscaling of the Gurkhas, along with the rest of the British Army, is going to have a major impact on Nepal's economy. But Gurkhas don't complain. Not even retired Gurkhas like 72-year-old Tul Bahadur Pun, better known as VC Saab for having earned the Victoria Cross. He single-handedly took out 3 Japanese machine gun positions in Burma, the last armed only with his kukri. It took him 6 days to walk down from his village for this interview on the subject of Gurkha bravery, one part of the Gurkha's legend that will never be a myth.
I think this is a genuine comment on the part of the world, but initially we Gurkhas ourselves didn't know that we are brave people, but upon our recognition, we also happen to realize that we are brave people.
The bravest of the brave is how a British regimental commander described the Gurkhas in his diary after a battle. Uncomplaining, you endured hunger, thirst, and wounds, and at the last your unwavering lines disappeared into the smoke and wrath of battle. Never had a country like ours had more faithful friends than you.
They have a saying which is often quoted, but it's very true. It's better to die than be a coward, and they live up to this.